Since last October, we've witnessed waves of employment strikes in response to corporations' poor treatment of their workers during the pandemic. While averted, the announced IATSE strike was one of the more publicized union actions around this time. I've spoken about the film union a bit on my blog in the past. However, some followers expressed that they were still unsure what was going on or what IATSE even was. So, for my first video, I'd like to explain more of what IATSE is and what exactly happened last year in the midst of Striketober. IATSE stands for the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. It's a labor union that focuses on maintaining fair wages and safe working conditions for workers in the entertainment industry. This pertains mainly to those who work behind the scenes, such as camera operators, sound technicians, carpenters, scripts, makeup artists, set designers, all those wonderful people that help create that movie magic. The organization has been around for quite a while. With that said, it wasn't until last summer that union representatives called for a strike for the first time since its creation. Keep in mind, IATSE represents over 60,000 members nationwide and 150,000 members worldwide. They don't just represent BTS crew for movies and TV, but for literally anything that requires physical and technical work for entertainment purposes. But it's rather hard to believe that workers are just now considering taking such extreme measures. Overall, this line of business doesn't have the most outstanding track record of showing concern for its employees. So what exactly sparked IATSE to call for a union strike all of a sudden? From the start of the pandemic, many companies have worked their employees thin, and the film industry was no different. It was especially bad for those who work under streaming companies. Workers had to constantly keep up production for the high demands of streaming originals. Because remember, people are just at home all the time with not much to do other than to watch TV. And like every business in response to the pandemic, they must exploit that somehow. Unfortunately for the workers, they were expected to work 14 to 18-hour-long shifts per workday. They were also forced to miss breaks and deal with crappy COVID-19 protocols. This, of course, resulted in accidents on and off set due to exhaustion and workers more prone to catching the virus. If y'all ever been to film location, you just knew they weren't ever going to enforce those protocols. And in case this wasn't all stressful enough, crew members who worked under streaming services were getting paid significantly less than those who work on regular productions. In other words, the amount of labor and time they put into their work did not match their deserved pay at all. Eventually, employees voiced they'd had enough of this mistreatment, and so they turned to their union representatives to address these issues up to Hollywood. Throughout the summer of last year, IATSE has struggled to negotiate with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. They proposed a 3-year agreement to improve working conditions, meal breaks, and increase employee salaries for entertainment workers. Unfortunately, but not surprisingly, it didn't seem that Hollywood would comply with these demands. So, with the approval of the majority of members, IATSE representatives agreed to call for a strike set on October 18th. The news of a potential film union strike alone actually stirred up a bit of chaos amongst studios. There have been entire shows and movie projects that were pushed back in production in fear that there wouldn't be anyone to work on set. Studios were afraid that this would become another writer's strike scenario. For quick reference, the writer's strike back in 2008 caused a lot of shows to cancel or end mid-season. In terms of public support, the general output luckily was positive. Some viewers were upset they couldn't see a new Marvel movie anytime soon, but the overwhelming support was adamant. In short, everyone was riled up and getting themselves prepared for this upcoming strike. Well, that is until IATSE leaders called off the strike the day before it was supposed to start. I'm assuming the sheer amount of support for this strike, along with the tremendous impact it would impose onto productions, scared Hollywood to take action and negotiate. Los Angeles Times reported that the negotiations resulted in a 3-year contract to help improve employee work environments. This included a 3% wage hike and employee rest periods of about 10 hours between daily shoots, 54 hours for the weekends. Now, these deals had some mixed responses of their own. Some were content with the deals, others felt they could have pushed for more benefits. While you can't please everyone, I can definitely see why not everyone was happy with these deals. I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers to solve this situation and satisfy everyone, but I will say that muddling is expected when you have leaders representing these massive groups. People can be bought out or succumb to peer pressure, even if it means risking the livelihoods of others. And this is a scary business where such incidents occur on a daily. Even now, there's speculation that Hollywood won't follow through on their end of the deal. And because a huge amount of IATSE members showed dissatisfaction with this deal, there is still potential for a strike to occur in the near future. If that were to happen, they'll have my support. And that concludes my first video. Again, sorry this took longer to post than expected. I wanted to get this done by January, but I got sick. I couldn't work on this or anything really for most of the month. I'm still figuring out how to lay out these videos, so I apologize if it was a bit discombobulated. With that said, I'm glad I'm doing this, and I hope y'all can enjoy and learn something out of these videos. Bye!